What's up everybody, Steven Z Killer here. It's time to bring you a new reaction video. But before that, 75% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed. This means two things. You're either brand new to the channel or returning. And I do hope that this video gets you to hit that subscribe button today. Last year, we didn't hit our goal of 400,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. We almost got there, and we were so close to 100,000 new subscribers in that year. But I still need more people to join and subscribe to get my channel to hit 1 million subscribers. This upcoming year, the new goal is 500,000 subscribers, and I need you to hit that subscribe button today so we can hit it this year. I know we can do it. What's up everybody, Steven Z Killer here, bringing another reaction to some more Death Battle! Let's go! We got the new one that just dropped a little bit ago. I was a little busy and I couldn't get to it right as it premiered, but I'm here now. As you can see, it dropped about 45 minutes ago, as in the premiere itself. So just a little bit late, not too late, so I should get this out at a decent time for you guys still on my channel. But today we're checking out Blade versus Buffy. Marvel Comics versus Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to either one of these characters, like to their top tier like abilities, feats, and all that stuff. My sister growing up was a huge fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and as a good example, like she liked the actor that played the character Spike and all that stuff. Actually, at one point, when I was going to a convention, that actor was there, and I got her an autograph from him. But she was more on the... So I've seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer because of that. I think Buffy does have like certain supernatural powers that help her do what she does. And I think she even like does get infused with vampire blood at some point, I think, to increase her abilities. But she's not like a vampire herself. Either way, I don't know the full extent of Buffy's abilities and everything. And I can say the same thing about Blade. I've seen a couple of the movies that involve Blade, but I don't really remember too much. But he is half a vampire. He does have, I think, more unique abilities. And also, there's probably some feats in the comics that are going to be crazy. So I'm going to be on the side of Blade over Buffy right now. And I'll give you guys my full, like, thought process once we get all the information. So like the original video, do all that good stuff. A link is in the description and down below. Let's get into this. And also, who are you voting for in this battle of death?
Blade versus Buffy.
The Daywalker versus the Vampire Slayer.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
And the fact that they're doing this live action is
They're
pretty
known
cool.
by many names. Revenant, Vortalok, Nosferatu.
Vampires. When the moon is out and the night is young, these undead demons are out for blood.
Fitting then that the greatest foe of those who stalk the night is the one who can walk the day. Blade.
Is that really his costume?
Hang on.
Now there's a man who doesn't file his taxes. Blade is one of the coolest superheroes ever, and basically kickstarted the comic book movie craze.
And yet, he is also seemingly the only one who knows or cares that in the world of Marvel, vampires exist. Seriously, nobody talks about this.
Blade doesn't need anyone's help. He'll just aura farm by himself.
That is strangely true.
Even Blade's birth was hardcore. Just as the young Eric Brooks' mother was in labor, her attending doctor turned out to be the vampire Deacon Frost.
And he drank her blood right before she gave birth.
This infused Eric with Frost's vampiric blood, turning him half human, half vampire. A Dampier.
Giving him a ton of vampy powers, but none of their weaknesses like garlic, holy water, or sunlight.
Eric would hone these abilities.
I did not know about that. Holy shit.
abilities under the tutelage of vampire hunter Jamal Afari, sharpening him into a blade that would rape the vampire plague for good.
Blade is strong and fast enough to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air. He can keep up with Wolverine, who can deflect Cyclops' light-speed optic blasts. And his Kevlar DuPont armor helped him take the top of Count Von Stott's castle exploding.
He can heal small wounds immediately and sniff out the supernatural with his hypersenses. Also,
does have a good
his
healing
fangs can
factor.
drain his victims of magical
Not broken like Wolverine or Deadpool broken, but he's got a decent healing factor.
energies.
After studying the ways of Hong Kong Kung Fu movies, Blade became a master martial artist. Ah yes, the Rufus from Street Fighter School of Kung Fu.
While the only martial art he's been stated to know is Krav Maga, we know he's mastered more. So for the full scope of his martial arts ability, we'll examine the Blade movies as performed by Wesley Snipes.
By looking at Snipes' training and choreography, we know Blade uses Kung Fu, Capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Eskrima, kickboxing, Shotokan karate.
I don't know if Buffy has anything comic-wise, but that's one thing Blade has over Buffy. Like, he's got both a movie series of information and the comics. And we know how broken some stuff and some feats can happen in the comics.
And Hapkido. Add on Blade's knack for stealthy takedowns, and I guess you could call him Marvel's Batman.
Blade's training progressed smoothly until
Wow.
Afari was attacked and had his blood drained by Dracula. Seriously, Avengers, Dracula is real. Why aren't you doing anything about this? He's right there!
Forced to murk his surrogate dad, Blade would have to wage his war alone.
Nursing a wound within him that would never heal, a hole that could never be filled.
Not with that attitude. Blade took a page out of the Book of Boomstick and tried filling that hole with every kind of weapon imaginable. He's got so many.
Damn.
They're his apartment decorations.
Handguns, assault rifles, and explosives make up the brunt of his firepower. And he enjoys getting up close and personal with his dual acid-etched titanium katanas.
Speaking of glorious Nippon
Wait, was that
steel,
Marvel
he's
Rivals
got a
gameplay?
sword
Is
made
Blade
out of
in Marvel Rivals
adamantium.
now?
Specifically,
I did not know
secondary
if that was the
adamantium,
case.
a
I
variant
know they
of the
just
metal
added
that is
Daredevil.
mass-producible.
It might not be quite as strong as Cap's shield, but it can cut right through heavy hitters like Ultron and the Hulk.
Naturally, Blade has even more swords. His Atlantean ones can slice through magical
Okay, that
enchantments.
confirms it.
The Word Sword can
Damn.
harm intangible
I did not know
demons,
Blade was in,
and the Justiciar can
Marvel
slay
Rivals.
fallen angels.
Yeah, he's got some weird stuff he can pull out of his
It's
ass.
been a while since I
like a
played it.
Hellfire shotgun that burns your soul, or hypodermic needles filled with vampire blood. Seems kinda dumb to turn people into vampires, but it does make them more vulnerable to Blade's arsenal.
All that pales in comparison to the arch weapon of hell in Blade's possession, the breathing gun. It is a living firearm that hisses in the presence of demonic forces. Its sentient bullets chase its victims down. The wounds they cause cannot be healed. And if they get lodged in your body, they'll slowly devour you from the inside out. They can even hurt Hell Lords and even greater threats like the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Blade took everything he had
What?
and fought his one-man war for almost 100 years.
He's battled hordes of vampires while skydiving, infiltrated the Pentagon, and even took on Spider-Men like Miles Morales, who could absorb the energy of a bomb that could destroy Harlem. Blade's even bested the Spirit of Vengeance, Zarathos.
And while he occasionally allied with teams like the Avengers, he prefers to work alone.
I probably would too if they only cared about me when I was helping them and not ridding the world of, vampires.
That, and Blade is scared of what he might do if he loses control, because he does have one classic vampire weakness: a thirst for blood. Blah.
Even more so after he had a daughter, Brielle, whom he avoided for fear of endangering her. If his bloodlust does overwhelm him, he will enter a berserker rage, skyrocketing his strength at the cost of his sanity.
Though it does make him even better at killing vamps. He's made a cottage industry out of whooping Dracula's
Damn.
ass.
Dracula is unsurprisingly powerful, capable of summoning a thunderstorm that covered all of Boston with a wave of his hand.
Drac apparently didn't hold a grudge though, since he eventually made Blade the sheriff of Vampires, a vampire nation in the ruins of Chernobyl.
Amazingly, Dracula has even given
Interesting.
Blade some of his own blood, which allows him to shapeshift into multiple forms, like a wolf,
Interesting.
a horde of bats, or a cloud of mist.
So he can force his way inside your body and blow you up from the inside out. Ant-Man
Holy
style.
fuck. Okay.
You with
how's Buffy gonna survive that? I'm sorry. What the fuck is Buffy gonna do about that?
The Ant-Man. Blade's hatred of vampires is only matched by his hatred of himself. However, when Brielle showed signs of vampiric powers, Blade finally found a reason to reconnect with his daughter, training her the same way Afari trained him a century prior.
Even after Blade was possessed by the first vampire ever and tried to take over the planet, Brielle put her dad's teachings to the test, saving both him and the world.
And proving that Blade's lonely war need not be so lonely anymore. With his daughter at his side, and also this plant creature pet called Boy Thing, let Marvel's vampires beware. For should they indulge their unnatural urges, they will be sure to meet their end at the tip of his blade.
I'm really interested in seeing how they try to make Buffy even remotely to the same level as like. I don't doubt that Buffy is strong, but I don't know.
Today's battle is sponsored by Prize Picks.
Hey, if you wanna support them and check out their sponsorship, you guys can. Link in the description down below for their original link and everything.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness. She is the Slayer.
For thousands of years, a new Slayer would be granted incredible powers and was destined to die young in battle against evil, passing their powers on to the next Slayer, and the next, and so on. That is, until the newest Slayer would change everything. Buffy Ann Summers.
Not exactly the first girl you'd think is the savior of humanity. Buffy's only goals in life were, in her own words, graduate from high school, go to Europe, marry Christian Slater, and die.
But that would all change when the Watcher Merrick appeared and revealed her destiny.
Like, total bummer.
Merrick trained Buffy in the arts of vampire slaying, and she became so efficient that she burned down her school. Whoops.
Forcing her
Wait, that was
to
comic.
move to
Buffy does
Sunnydale,
have comic
California
stuff,
to start a
possibly.
new
Okay.
life, far away from any more bloodsuckers and bad makeup.
Unfortunately, small problem, Sunnydale just so happened to be right on top of a hellmouth, where the boundary between Earth and Hell is permeable.
Yeah, that sounds like the Valley, all right. Along with
The
new
fuck
Watcher
was
Giles,
that?
Wallflower Willow, part-time bad boy, part-time sad boy Angel, magical retcon sister Dawn, and Xander. Buffy and her Scooby gang would battle a never-ending series of monsters.
And we mean truly never-ending. Sure, there's the TV show, but Buffy has also been slaying vampires across video games, comics, and 128 novels. Tens of thousands of pages of Buffy lore you've never heard of.
But we're just crazy enough to speed read them all.
Buffy.
Yeah, I definitely. I like I said, I got a little bit of knowledge from the past when I was a kid because my sister was a big fan of the show. But outside of that, I got nothing.
Carries a variety of anti-vampire weaponry. There's wooden stakes, of course, sometimes dipped in gorgon venom that can turn you to stone. Though she's also experienced with axes, swords, quarterstaffs, holy water, just about anything.
You said it! When she fought an ancient demon unable to be killed by any weapon forged in his time, Buffy introduced his stupid ass to the 20th century.
She's also a master of Aikido, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate, kung fu, wushu, tai chi, kendo, capoeira, and taekwondo.
Buffy apparently thinks Hong Kong's kung fu movie masters could learn a thing or two.
No kidding. Thanks to her Slayer senses, her reflexes are fine-tuned enough to dodge close-range Gatling gun fire, lightning bolts from the sky, and even beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who can dodge laser beams from point-blank range.
Buffy's strong enough to bend rebar, punch this 4.5-ton bat monster into the air, and, smash hard enough to tear apart a building.
And despite her lack of armor, she...
Wait. Okay, so she had a crazy fuck night. Gotcha.
He can survive massive explosions, like the one that destroyed Sifrilian's lair that's bigger on the inside.
She can even fight blindfolded, but if she is injured, she heals fast enough to be totally fine by the next episode.
One time, Angel sucked out almost all of the blood from her body, and she survived. Doubly impressive since Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
Yeah, Buffy's own magic makes her weirdly resilient to esoteric attacks, like when she expelled this misty shadow demon trying to possess her body, or when she resisted
Oh, that right there might be the reason she's able to prevent him to go inside of her and blow her up from the inside kind of shit, maybe.
Her soul being ripped apart and scattered across time.
Or that time she jumped into a vat of boiling liquid so hot it could reduce people to skeletons, and she was just fine.
She might not show physical scars, but she sure has emotional ones. Being the Slayer put a huge burden on Buffy's life.
Unable to live normally, she felt isolated, forced to internalize the trauma she faced on a daily basis. Sure, she had friends, but they couldn't understand her unique struggle.
Like when Angel turned evil after he took her virginity and tried to destroy the world. That must be one of those
What the fuck?
metaphors.
Sometimes the worst enemies are the ones you can't fight and who don't fight back.
Made even worse by her
Damn, she banged so hard she turned him evil.
having all the memories of the other Slayers bouncing around in her head, dating back to the Stone Age.
Buffy has dreamt of every battle a Slayer has ever fought, and can call upon those skills in a fight, even subconsciously.
But this includes the memories of their deaths. Countless women violently dying young, a reminder of her inevitable fate.
A fate that came to pass when she fought the Hell God Glory. After leaping into Glory's reality-ending interdimensional hole,
A glory hole, if you will.
Buffy sacrificed herself to save the universe, dying a hero's death.
It appears my glory hole joke was poorly timed.
Finally freed of her unfair earthly responsibilities, Buffy's soul ascended to heaven in perfect bliss. Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence! This absolutely crushed Buffy and, ironically, annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the show renewed for more seasons, she had to nut up and continue her endless crusade against all things Spirit Halloween.
Buffy's battled for 48 hours straight, defeated vampires immune to traditional vampiric weaknesses, and destroyed the Sword of Sano, which caused the Great Hanshin earthquake.
And of course, both Buffy and her friends have defeated countless immensely powerful demons.
Like the Queller Demon, which arrived as a meteor and caused the Tunguska explosion, which destroyed over 2,000 square kilometers of forest. Or the Sorrow Demon, which caused a storm that blanketed Los Angeles.
She's also a match for Angel, who survived a blast that could rupture a continental shelf, and took hits from Whistler, whose magic contained a bomb that could vaporize London.
She even faced off against the First Evil, literally the embodiment of all evil that predates reality itself.
Forced into battles
took
against
over- it looked
stronger
like it
and
took over
stronger
one of her
baddies,
friends'
Buffy
body.
clearly needed something to even the odds. The Slayer safe.
It's actually a Bardiche,
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. This thing is bullshit.
containing the essence of Buffy's Slayer powers and created to defeat ancient demons. The scythe can deflect magical projectiles and slice through just about anything. Ghosts, magic, even space itself, destabilizing reality in the process.
Even Silas, the devourer of worlds. Kinda like Galactus, but instead of chomping on planets, he eats the multiverse.
Okay, so we now know the weapon that Buffy actually has that probably could take down Blade.
And there goes his head.
The scythe is easily the
Like, to be fair, all the other weapons I actually don't think matter that they talked about, because Blade, it doesn't have the same weaknesses as normal vampires. So now Buffy actually has something besides her own fists that possibly could do damage to Blade and put him down.
most powerful tool in her arsenal. In effect, attaining it completed Buffy, as though it were a piece of her she never knew was missing. With the scythe, Buffy was finally whole. Being the Slayer was no longer a burden, but a purpose.
And by sharing her Slayer powers with thousands of girls around the world, they all teamed up and kicked the First Evil's ass.
Suddenly, the always isolated Buffy had thousands of shoulders to lean on, a sisterhood of Slayers.
And thousands more reasons for any wannabe demon conqueror to stay away from Earth. Because unless you want to get your blood all over her stylish yet affordable boots, you'll steer clear of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
So I'm getting the feeling that they're still holding back on some information, stat-wise, possibly on both sides, to prove why one wins over the other. I'm sticking with Blade. Over Buffy. But I have a feeling in my gut that actually Buffy has a chance with that weapon to take down Blade. And once again, if you guys want to check out their links, do so. Link is in the description down below.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a live-action death battle!
This is cool, the fact that they're actually doing some live action stuff too. I'm happy about that. A little bit of change.
We were kings long before they had a name.
See, also that weapon right there actually might do, like, literally they both have a weapon I feel like could actually really put them down.
Kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited long enough.
I feel like Buffy and him are just gonna murderize everybody and then fight each other.
Tonight, we remember who we were. Tonight, we take back what was always ours. Tonight,
Yeah, you stopped the wrong person.
we feast.
Daywalker.
And she was just the start.
Damn. Wait, this motherfucker doing my job. And the motherfucker up there, DJ's fucking jamming to this battle. Also, let's be honest here, they might fight each other, but realistically, they'll probably realize that they're on the same side since he's attacking the vampires that she'd probably be killing. Oh, right in the eye! Double kill. Technically double tap. Damn, the DJ was willing. For style. Oh. No. That, all right. Now Buffy's gonna try to save her because she was bitten, but or doesn't realize.
Dude's just a kid.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's how Blade is. just popped in my head. Blade, I don't know if Buffy can resist that, but Blade does have the injection that can turn people into vampires. Will that work on Buffy? Like hand-to-hand combat skill-wise, Buffy technically does have more martial arts skills than Blade. They showed Blade had a handful, but Buffy had like 10 different martial arts mastered. So, but they definitely will be able to hold each other off hand-to-hand wise. Damn! Blade's healing factor in the moment is stronger, I think.
You out your damn mind?
She is getting her ass beat, though. Ooh. Ooh! Hours of desperation kicked in.
Amateur hour. There's always some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
Like, if he's able to inject her with the vampire blood and then use his gun on her, that honestly could get Blade the win. But if she brings out that axe and she's able to do some good damage on Blade, she's getting the win here. Oh, fuck! Oh! Oh! That's not good, though, for Buffy. Like, it's impressive that her axe was able to kill the gun, technically. But the fact that she actually got shot and it landed into her, I don't know. I think Buffy might be losing this. I'm rooting for Blade still, but
Another sword.
I see you cut through adamantium.
Bring it on.
oh, fuck! And like I said, and they talked about this, it takes her a day before she actually heals. He can heal in the moment of small damages like that. This is going to be build up over time with the bullet wound, the cut, the stab earlier. She's the only one here with actual damage. He's already healed with everything she's done to him. She has not done too much like permanent damage to him to affect the fight. Oh shit, the axe of bullshit. Here it comes! For one reason I said that would probably end Blade. Fuck! The one thing that would actually damage him and probably keep the damage. Decapitation! Fuck! Alright, well, Buffy wins.
It's like you got ahead of yourself.
Cheesy one-liner. Let's go. All right. Well, like I said, I have a feeling that Buffy, they were hiding some stuff or whatnot. Like, Buffy definitely seemed like a good fighter and everything. Healing factor was not as strong, but her technique skills match up with Blade, if not maybe a little bit better because of the multiple different things she's mastered. But that blade, that axe thing right there was the one key factor. I said that right at the start when they showed that thing. That is going to be the one weapon that could take Blade and put him down. And I was right. Every other weapon she had to her arsenal would do nothing. That is the only reason she was able to win. If she didn't have that axe, she would not have won against Blade.
KO! To be Blade tenued no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not,
Same.
Buffy is actually in more comics than Blade.
What?
Really? Man, Blade can't catch a break.
Let's break this down into 4 categories. First
All
up,
right.
stats. Buffy's lifted much heavier things and survived more significant explosions.
Blade.
Oh, fuck.
Sure, Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like Buffy.
Scaling to the
The building destroying fuckfest. Gotcha.
monsters they fought, compare Dracula creating a storm that covered Boston to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles, a city over 5 times larger. You might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London. They could both dodge light beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's used to
Okay,
being the
okay.
odd man out, though, so his versatility is just as important.
See, I noticed that they didn't really give us too many like actual numbers on Buffy's side, so that's what they were holding back on with some of the numbers.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out crossbows and morning stars. Not to mention, he actually wears armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing factor and immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility.
But when it comes
I can agree with that.
to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have more personal experience, Buffy's ability to draw on Slayer battles dating back to the Stone Age, at least 40
Oh, that's so that during the segment when she got stabbed, that was probably what it was. Gotcha.
times older than Blade, gives her the superior skill. Even then, they both had weapons and abilities so powerful they could end the fight instantly, regardless of all else.
They're
Yeah.
trump cards. Fortunately for Buffy, she actually countered almost all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade turning to mist and exploding her from the inside out? Check.
Meanwhile, Blade
I fucking knew that was that right there when they talked about that scene of her expelling shit. That was the reason why Blade wouldn't be able to do that.
had no way to survive, say, Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the deadly and just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer sight. It
Between the two of them, that Slayer thing that Buffy had, that was the most powerful out of all the weaponry.
could easily deflect the breathing gun's bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in half when a portal closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta adamantium skeleton is a much tougher version of the same metal.
Oh, and since the Scythe could kill Silas, a multiverse-devouring god, I think it could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Giving Buffy
Yeah.
the final advantage over
To be honest, even though I was on the side of Blade at the beginning of this, I can agree with some of this stuff. Yeah. Unless you guys have other things you guys want to point out that they missed out, because sometimes they do. But let me know down below in the comments.
Daywalker.
Really thought Blade had a chance, but Buffy sure put a damn fear on things.
The winner is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
All right, who is next?
Next time on Death Battle.
Devil May Cry. So Dante.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more.
Dante versus Clive. Oh, Final Fantasy. I don't know too much about Final Fantasy. So I'm probably gonna be on the side of Dante because I've played Devil May Cry, but I've never played Final Fantasy and I don't know the abilities or anything. So let me know who do you think is gonna win this fight. I'm gonna be on Dante's side. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Stay tuned for more. And if you guys want to check out my reactions to the past episodes of Death Battle, like the one they're showing on the screen, I did do reaction to both of these ones. Ruby Rose versus Maka, Hulk versus Godzilla. There's plenty of awesome videos for you guys to watch on the channel, and I'll see you guys in another one. Till then, later!
There's a name that shines bright, bringing joy to the night. Steven's killer, he's the king of the screen. With his epic playthroughs, he ranks as a meme. Laughing out loud as we watch him explore. From horror to laughter, we can't help but want more. With a heart full of passion, he shares his delight. Steven's killer, take us on